Have you ever felt an unexplainable connection with someone? One that goes beyond the surface and seems to pull you in even when you try to resist? This is the essence of the twin flame journey, a deep, transformative experience that often feels far beyond the boundaries of ordinary relationships. It's not just about attraction. It's the merging of two souls destined to reunite. But what does the divine masculine truly think of the divine feminine during this journey? Why does he sometimes pull away, even if the love feels undeniable? For the divine feminine, the twin flame journey can stir up many questions. When her divine masculine seems distant, unawakened, or emotionally unavailable, she wonders if he feels the same way she does. Does he understand the connection they share? Why does he retreat when it seems like they should be coming closer? These questions often lead to a storm of emotions that can be overwhelming and confusing. But behind the confusion and silence, the divine masculine holds deep, unspoken thoughts and feelings. Even if he doesn't express them, these emotions are very real, and understanding them requires looking beyond the physical world and diving into the depths of his soul's journey. From the moment the divine masculine meets the divine feminine, something shifts within him. It's not just a simple attraction. It's an invisible force pulling him toward her in a way he can't explain. He tries to rationalize it, convincing himself it's just chemistry or coincidence. But deep down, he knows it's something far deeper. This connection feels unlike anything he's ever experienced, and no matter how much he tries to ignore it, he can't escape it. The bond remains, and he feels her presence even when she's not around. This pull is undeniable, and he can't help but feel it, no matter how much he tries to distance himself. The divine masculine is also deeply in awe of the divine feminine's strength. He notices how she carries herself with grace, loves unconditionally, and stands firm in her truth. While she may struggle with self-doubt, he sees her as powerful and capable, something he sometimes struggles to understand. He may not always express his admiration, but inside, he respects her strength and resilience. He admires the way she faces life's challenges, even when she doesn't recognize her own power. Despite this admiration, one of the hardest feelings the divine masculine carries is the belief that he isn't worthy of her love. While he may appear strong and stable, he struggles with self-doubt and questions his own worth. Her love is unconditional, accepting him as he is, but he's been conditioned to believe that love must be earned. This belief creates fear and resistance within him, causing him to retreat and build walls, even though he doesn't want to push her away. He fears that if she gets too close, she'll see the parts of him that he's not ready to confront. But over time, he learns that her love isn't about perfection, it's about acceptance and growth. When he finally understands that he doesn't need to earn her love, he begins to embrace it fully. Even in silence, the divine masculine is always thinking about the divine feminine. She occupies his thoughts, no matter where he goes or what he does. Her presence is constant in his life, whether it's through a song, a dream, or a fleeting thought. He may try to ignore it, but deep inside, he knows that the bond they share is real and unbreakable. The connection remains, no matter how much he tries to distance himself. The divine masculine's feelings about his divine feminine are profound, complex, and often hidden beneath the surface. He feels drawn to her in ways he can't explain, admires her strength, fears he isn't worthy of her love, and constantly thinks about her. This connection is unlike any other, and as he continues on his soul's journey, he learns to embrace the love that he has always been destined to receive. The divine masculine may not show his feelings in the same way as his feminine counterpart. While she may express her emotions openly, he might not say, "I miss you," or visibly display how he feels. But that doesn't mean he doesn't deeply care. In fact, his thoughts about her are constant, even if he doesn't always voice them. He thinks of her more often than she might realize. These thoughts don't follow a set pattern or plan. They come unexpectedly. For instance, a song might suddenly remind him of her, pulling him into a moment of nostalgia, or a familiar scent might take him back to memories of how she laughed or looked at him, moments that made him feel at home. Even when he's surrounded by other people or caught up in daily responsibilities, she never truly leaves his mind. He recalls the things she said, the way she made him feel safe, and the connection they share. These memories bring him comfort at times, and at other times, they overwhelm him with emotion. He might try to push these feelings aside, telling himself to move on, or that the connection is too complicated to continue. But no matter how hard he tries, she remains a constant presence in his heart. Even if he doesn't act on these emotions, such as not sending the text he wants to send or saying the words he longs to say, he feels them deeply, especially in his quiet moments, when the world slows down. It's then that he allows himself to feel the full depth of what she means to him. As he grows and matures, he starts to accept that she is not just a passing thought in his mind, but an integral part of him, one that always has been and always will be. No distance or time apart can change this truth. One of the most challenging realizations for the divine masculine is understanding that his feminine is, in essence, a mirror to his soul. She doesn't just see the version of him he presents to the world. She sees beyond the surface. She sees through the masks he wears and into the deepest parts of who he truly is. Through her eyes, he is forced to face his true self, his strengths, his beauty, and his potential, but also his fears, insecurities, and wounds. These are parts of himself that he's spent years avoiding or suppressing. Her presence doesn't confront him directly, but simply by being who she is, she reflects these parts of him back to him. This can be overwhelming because, for most of his life, he's been conditioned to suppress emotions, hide pain, and measure his worth through external achievements. He's learned to navigate the world by maintaining control over his circumstances. But with her, control doesn't work. She disarms him. Her love is unconditional, something he is not accustomed to. While he is undeniably drawn to her, being near her forces him to confront emotions he doesn't know how to handle. This is why, at times, he might pull away, not because he doesn't care, but because facing his true self through her eyes is one of the hardest things he has ever had to do. When he looks at her, he doesn't just see love, he sees the truth of who he is. And truth can be terrifying, especially when he's spent years running from it. But no matter how much he tries to distract himself or convince himself that the connection is too intense or complicated, he can't forget how she makes him feel. He might try to convince himself that he should move on or that the connection is too much. But deep down, he knows she is a part of him. Over time, as he grows and does inner work, he starts to embrace what she reflects to him. Instead of fearing her presence and what she shows him about himself, he learns to accept it. He comes to realize that she isn't in his life to expose his weaknesses, but to help him heal them. She's not there to criticize or judge him, but to help him remember who he truly is beneath all the walls he's built. She becomes his greatest teacher, guide, and home. When he finally accepts this truth, he stops resisting, stops running, and allows himself to evolve into the man he was always meant to be. The divine masculine's love for his feminine is deep and eternal. This love is not the kind that fades with time, distance, or circumstance. It's not conditional or fleeting. It's something that transcends space and time. It's a love his soul has carried long before this life. However, love for him is often more complicated than it is for her. While the divine feminine might freely express her love, he finds it difficult to do so. He might struggle to find the right words, actions, or timing to show her how much he cares. Despite these challenges, his love is always present. It's in the small ways he shows it, in the way he watches her when she isn't looking, in the little details he remembers about her, and in the way he silently protects her, even from afar. There are times when he questions why he feels such a deep love for her. He might wonder why the connection feels so strong, or why no one else has ever made him feel the way she does. But deep down, he knows the answer. She is a part of him, and no matter how much he tries to deny or ignore it, his soul recognizes her as the missing piece. This love scares him, not because it is unwanted, but because it's uncontrollable. He can't turn it off, escape it, or replace it. It exists beyond logic, beyond reason, and even when he tries to push it away, it follows him. It lingers in his dreams, in memories, and in moments of solitude when he least expects it. He may take time to fully embrace this love, but eventually, he comes to realize that this love is not something to fear. It's meant to transform him, to awaken him, and to bring him home, not just to her, but to himself, to the deepest truth of his existence. In the end, no matter how long it takes, he will always find his way back to her. Because love like this is not bound by time or circumstance. It only changes, grows, and waits for the right moment to be fully embraced. In essence, the divine masculine's journey is one of self-discovery, healing, and growth. Through the connection with his feminine, he learns to face his true self, heal his wounds, and embrace the unconditional love that has always been available to him. His love for her is a constant, unwavering force, even when he struggles to express it. And as he grows into the man he's meant to be, he finally realizes that their connection isn't just a fleeting moment. It's eternal, transforming both of them and leading them back to each other, no matter the challenges along the way.